Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. A lot of you guys loved my World Economic Forum video, so we are going to do another one of those. So this is their video, What is the Great Reset? This is the Davos Agenda 2021. It does not look good. I didn't watch it yet, but it has 44,000 dislikes and 4,000, almost 5,000 likes. So we'll just get into it, but before we do, if you wouldn't mind sharing, commenting, and subscribing, that would be great. So we're just going to watch it, and I will say what I want to say whenever.
The pandemic has radically changed the world as we know it, and the actions we take today as we work to recover will define our generation.
Now is the time to think what
That is
history would say
Technically
about
speaking.
this crisis.
2020 has been challenging on a lot of levels, as
It's
economic,
artificial, in my
environmental,
opinion.
and societal frailties have been laid bare. But it's also proved that when we need to, we can act rapidly and restructure our lives.
Recovery from the pandemic is an opportunity. We can see rays of hope in the form of a vaccine, but there is no vaccine for the planet. Nature needs a bailout.
What?
You don't want to go back to the status quo
I'm
that you
so
had
confused.
before simply because it was the status quo that got us here.
With everything falling
I
apart,
highly doubt the status quo created a virus in mass hysteria. Maybe mass hysteria. But I don't know how they made that jump from, oh yeah, this virus to, oh yeah, we can change really fast, very fast, and to, oh, the status quo caused this situation. Oh, in a sense, that's correct. But what they want to do is enforce the status quo that caused us to do all of these things.
we can reshape the
Ridiculous.
world in ways we couldn't before, ways that better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for
Okay, so they showed off the solar panels and windmills. Okay, you have to be a fool to think solar panels are a viable solution
in ways we couldn't
to.
before.
You have to be really dumb to think that these are a viable solution. Well, yeah, I guess you might not know a lot about solar panels, but for one thing, it has to be sunny out. I no duh. So if you have a cloudy day, then like, what are you doing? And on top of that, you need to have it hooked up to a gas or oil refinery or whatever they're called in order to keep the supply running and to get the precious metals and other things that are required for the solar panels. It requires a lot of gas and oil, believe it or not. And
Ways that better address so
windmills, they fail like nobody's business. Yeah. If they had nuclear energy here, then maybe I'd be like, oh, got a good point there. But no.
many of the challenges we face. And
Okay, I think that this is in California. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that this picture is in California. One of the reasons why that they have so many fires in California, A, it's a freaking desert. Okay, like it's still a desert. And another reason is they will not um, do controlled fires for parts of the forest. That would solve all their problems, but they don't want to do that for whatever reason. And again, it's a desert.
that's why so many are calling for a great reset.
Who is
A
calling for
great
that?
reset? That sounds more like buzzword bingo masking some nefarious plan for world domination.
You see that? You see what they just did there? They're like, oh, well, that sounds like exactly what it is. Okay, it is a nefarious plan to change the entire world. Like it is a buzzword, the Great Reset, but like not really. I don't understand what is going on here.
Hands up, this kind of slogan hasn't gone down well. But all we really want to say is that we all have an opportunity to build a better world. And it's not surprising that people who've been disenfranchised by a broken system and pushed even further by the pandemic will suspect global leaders of conspiracy. But the
Okay. Let me.
system and pushed even further by the pandemic will
What does this have to do with the pandemic? Okay, like this right here has absolutely nothing to do with the pandemic. If anything, they are the ones being helped by whatever crisis this is that they're in, which it has again nothing to do with the pandemic. They're being rescued. So how exactly are they being affected? It's probably a natural disaster what's happening, and you know natural disasters are natural. You can't stop them. But anyway, let's just
by the pandemic
continue. We're
will
only a minute
suspect
in,
global
4
leaders
minutes
of
long.
conspiracy. But the world's not that simple. Every one of us has differing priorities, values, and ideas. That's part of
Correct.
why solutions are so hard to come by.
Also
And
correct.
why we all need to be involved in the decision making. Because
Not
whether it's
correct.
politicians, CEOs, academics, activists, or you, we're all about getting people together. Even those you may
No,
not
we're
like,
not.
to sit down at the table and develop solutions that work for all of us.
Name a single politician who is currently in office that is in the United States on the federal level saying we need to find solutions that work for all of us and actually tries to do that. I'll wait. 'Cause they're, if anyone, very few and far between. Maybe at most, I'd say 20. At most. The only one who comes to the top of my head is that Mnuchin from West Virginia, and that's barely, a very very thin line there. Anyway, and CEOs. Okay. I don't think Verizon is worried about any solutions that positively impact Xfinity, unless it positively impacts them. And the same thing with Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. Why would they work together? That's just me.
But
We need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work. That trust is hard to come by.
it's
Yeah,
time
it's hard
for
to come
people
by
to
because
work together.
it's hard to come by because all of you keep lying all the time. Like there's not a politician alive, or anyone really in the public sector that doesn't lie through their front teeth all the time. Like take Jen Psaki for example, always lying, always lying. Anyway, let's continue.
Listen to each other and build this trust so we can move towards a better world. And we really need one. Because while the pandemic affects us all, it's clear it affects some more than others.
The first people who are hit are the people at the front, those who are vulnerable. It is those on the front line who take it first, and that is simply unacceptable.
See, at the start of 2020, 1% of the world's population owned 44% of the wealth. And since the start of the pandemic, billionaires have increased theirs by more than 25%, whilst
Okay, now that is technically true, but also, like America, like in general, like if you make $30,000 or more, is in the top 1% of the world. It's not these what they want you to believe that it's these people who are like a Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates type, but that number, that statistic in that setting, and including this one, that is taking into account us as like me and you as well. Not even me technically. I make less than $30,000 a year. Um, I am still a college student, so don't make any money. But like other people, if you're making $30,000 or more a year, you're in the top 1%. Congratulations, buddy. You're according to this video, you're a part of the problem. And let me tell you, if you are making like $40,000 here in America, you have kids, so probably ask for a raise.
150 million people fell back into extreme poverty. And with climate change set to dwarf the damage caused by the pandemic, the message from 2020 should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead. This obsession that we have had with maximizing profits for shareholders alone has led to incredible inequality and a planetary emergency.
I'm sorry, what?
But no one can do this alone. And
Okay, what did any of that video have to do with capitalism? It just was talking about the pandemic and natural disasters and like working together. Yeah, blah 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 blah. What does that have to do with capitalism?
top-down approaches won't get us anywhere, because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results. And it's for these reasons that the forum talks about something called stakeholder capitalism, which would shift businesses away from just profit. Because
if we want to change where the focus of our recovery will go, then we need a...
Isn't that just capitalism? I am failing to see the difference between this and what capitalism is, because you can be a capitalist and care about your stakeholders. I'm confused.
A new dashboard for the new economy, and that needs to encompass people, planet, prosperity, and institutions.
Giving people a real stake in the economy and putting well-being before growth. And that's all about getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
We must rebuild our relationship with
they do that
nature
all the time.
for the survival of the people.
That's literally just called life. Like, people do that. It could be for selfish reasons, but people do try to do all those things.
And our planet.
We have a window of time which is closing, and we need everybody who cares to get together and find solutions now.
It's the people who have great ideas and who share them with others. They're the ones who are shaping the future. So if you want to be a part of the change, then tune in, turn on, and get involved. Follow the Davos Agenda, right here, online, on YouTube.
No, thank you. That whole video is just a waste of time, in my opinion. I'm very confused as to what was happening. Very confused. But hey, that's just life sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. And this thing right here did not make any sense whatsoever. Like, they jump around a lot to a lot of conclusions, and they didn't really answer what the Great Reset is. And like they're talking about, oh, the top, or the billionaires have gained like 25%. Like, who do you think funds these forums and organizations? It's not regular people. They get billionaires, politicians, and bureaucrats to fund their ideas. It's like, no one wants this. Obviously, because like you can look at it is 48 or 4.8 thousand likes to 44,000 dislikes. It's like they're lying to you, and like, this is basically what they want is communism. They just want to sugarcoat it and say it's something else. But if an idea is good, you don't need to say it's X, Y, or Z when it's really A, B, and C. You don't need to do that. But of course they feel obligated to. But anyway, that's the video. Let me know if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I don't care. I do this for fun. But God bless you. Have a wonderful day.